Hi everyone, I'm Nick Finagoni and I'm here to talk a little bit about Queer Journey Circles, which is a new workshop that I will be offering on Saturday, November 5th. And I've decided to do a short series of live videos to talk a little bit more about some of the material that we'll be working on in the workshop and to give anyone out there who's interested an opportunity to ask any questions during the live video or even after, and I will get to them as soon as possible. So as I said, I'll be offering this live series, and I've decided I'm going to do it once a week for the next 4 weeks in October leading up to the workshop in November. And I will be posting on the event on Facebook the dates that I will be doing them. So today I'm doing it on a Friday, and next week I'm going to do it on a Saturday, which will be Saturday, October 15th at 11 a.m. And I'll be posting the other dates as they come up. So feel free over the next 10 or 15 minutes as I talk a little bit about the material to post any questions that you may have. And let me know if you have any questions about the material that I'm talking about or anything about the workshop that you've read about online so far. So what I wanted to talk to you a little bit about today is trauma, and especially the unique ways that people in our LGBT and queer communities experience trauma. So when we think about trauma, people oftentimes think of what we call more of a big trauma or big T trauma. And that is usually something like having PTSD from being in a war zone or some kind of accident or injury, like being in an earthquake or a car accident, or being mugged or raped or something like that. And those are definitely traumas that are significant and should definitely be addressed in some way. But the traumas that I wanted to talk about more today are some of the ways that we queer people experience what are called microaggressions or small traumas throughout our life. And a lot of that can be the experience of homophobia or transphobia, and that can be directly pointed at us by people attacking us or being attacked for any reason for not understanding who we are, or as we've seen most recently in the news, the way that we've tried to really support having gender-neutral bathrooms and the way that trans people can be attacked either directly verbally or indirectly behind their back for being in quote-unquote the wrong bathroom. Other microaggressions are ways that we are just not attended to, either because of our difference or people not supporting us or having negative feelings about us. I'm just checking in with my notes here. So what happens over time is we experience these microaggressions or small t traumas, and they continue to build up in our mind and in our body. And one of the most significant things about trauma is that it's actually stored in our body as well as our mind and can really affect us both physically and psychologically. And so it's really important to address the trauma both psychologically and physically as well. And so that could be different kinds of practices of yoga or mindfulness, or even just singing or dancing are really effective ways of working through trauma, as well as addressing them on a more mental and emotional level by working with a therapist or even just talking with a friend or maybe seeking out group therapy. That kind of thing can also be really helpful for releasing and working through the collection of microaggressions that accumulate in our mind and our body over time. So it's really important to heal and release those traumas in a variety of different ways. And so part of the reason I'm offering this workshop is I've come up with a few different tools and practices that I've been taught and have come up with on my own to help queer people in particular address the issue of trauma. And so what I'll be teaching you is some of those practices, and I'll be talking about them a little bit more in a further video, but some of them will be more guided meditation to really look at what's going on in our internal world, in our psyche, in our imagination, and in our soul about how the trauma is really affecting us on a deep level, on top of using the shamanic journey, which is a very powerful practice and process to find healing at a very deep level spiritually and psychologically. So that's just a little bit about trauma, and in particular how it affects the queer community and why it's really important to address it. And as I said, we'll be working on that in a few different ways in the workshop on November 5th. So again, it's November 5th, and it will be held at Tara's Temple in Berkeley, and registration is open now, and you can find all the information online at the Facebook page, which you may have found this through, or on my website, which is holistictherapysf.com, and then just look for the Queer Journey Circles in the right-hand column on the upper right-hand corner. And I see that no one has asked any questions live at this time, but if in the future anyone is watching this recording and you have any questions about any of the material that I've discussed or about the workshop at all, feel free to leave a comment below and I will get to it as soon as possible. And again, make sure to tune in next week again, that's Saturday, October 15th at 11 a.m. And I'll be talking a little bit more about some of the other ways to work with trauma and heal trauma in the workshop and some of the other tools and practices we'll be doing. So thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you on November 5th. Have a good day.